All right, I think we're ready to start the show. How you guys doing?
Oh shit, I'm doing all right.
All
I'm
right.
golden.
All right.
Doing nice.
All right, I think okay. Excellent. Sound check is good. I think we are ready to fucking go, boys. Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. I am your host, Danny K. With me, as always, it's the wonderful, the beautiful, the Mr. Green Elite. How are you doing, Green?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting through the day. It's been quiet. I'm starting to get really lonely being by myself.
Do you need
But you know, it's good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Do you need some hugs and snuggles over there? Because I can oblige, my friend.
McKenna will be home tonight sometime. So, but if you want to make the drive,
We'll
I'd
get all
appreciate it.
we'll get all cozy on the couch. You can be Big
Yes.
Spoon.
Stop.
Sounds like a recipe for satstrubaiting.
It sounds like the new channel that's like Hallmark, but just a little bit more colorful.
Yeah.
Mm.
With us, most of the time, it's the powerful, it's the beautiful, and now the old Revsven. How you doing, Padre?
Very. Oh, I got my Metamucil, Warlords Originals, and AARP card in, so I'm golden.
Are you watching Me TV and the Western
NCIS
channel now?
all the time.
NCIS all the time.
Yeah, just NCIS all the time. Mark Harmon is a god. That little DeNozo prick needs to learn to grow up.
That's so specific.
My parents are like in their 60s and they watch the shit out of NCIS. We were late to watching the football game yesterday because my dad wanted to finish his episode of NCIS. I'm like, God damn it, Dad.
With us this week, our special guest, ABigOleDoor. ABigOleDoor,
Hello.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
For those who don't know who you are, Door, why don't you go on ahead and tell the kind folks who you are and what you do, and where people can find you.
I am a streamer, as these other beautiful three people are. And yeah, you can find me at ABigOleDoor on Twitch, and I usually just stream a lot of fancy games.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are you into right now, Dor?
A little bit of Scrap Mechanic. It's a good little small game. Cold War, like playing some zombies occasionally, and then just random games here and there.
All right, and if you guys are interested in checking him out, there'll be a link in the chat right now, and there will be links in the description of this episode on YouTube and the podcast platform to go check out ABigOleDoor. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to forget this, but you also do some music, right?
I do.
Yeah, where can people find your music at?
Spotify, iTunes, if that's a thing anymore. Apple Music. Any place you can find music, I should be there.
It is fantastic too. I love it.
Yeah.
It's the only music I'm using right now. It's ABigOleDoor on Spotify.
Yeah. My artist name, or whatever you want to call it, is Andy, but it's AND-Y.
In all caps on Spotify. Because there's another one with lowercase NND. I found that out.
A little tip, I do not rap. So if you find one that raps, not me.
I'm not gonna lie, you said a little tip, and I thought you were talking about me. So if I looked shocked for a second, that's my bad.
Wow. Well, is there gonna be a day when we hear ABigOleDoor spitting some bars? Because that would be pretty dope.
I wish. I might. You never know.
Never know. So getting some stuff out of the way. Of course, every week we do have a question of the week. This week, our question is, what TV show are you most excited for this year? 2020 kind of ruined a lot of people's TV schedules. And so 2021, obviously, there's going to be a lot of TV. What show are you looking forward to the most? In my Discord, we were just talking about the new Shaman King anime that's coming out, which looks pretty fucking dope. I'm also looking forward to My Hero Academia season. What are we on? Season 5?
Five?
Season 5.
Question mark?
Yeah, we're on season 5.
Are they?
Also, I'm looking forward to what was it? What's it called? Dr. Stone season 2.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna sit there and sleep on The Witcher?
Is The Witcher season 2 supposed to come out this year?
It's supposed to be 2021. That is tentative with COVID, and then Henry Cavill injured his, I believe, shoulder.
I hope he didn't hurt his beautiful, beautiful face.
Oh, he did not. No. That would be a travesty against the human race. Like damaging any of like this area and like these areas, like his face and arms. It'd be a travesty.
Yeah. So go on ahead and tell us what's in the comments, or go on ahead and chat right now, or you can even tweet at us what TV show you're most excited for this year. And if you guys miss any part of the show, you guys can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. And I'm ready to just get into it. You guys ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's just get right into it.
Let's just jump right into it.
Let's just get right into it.
So, I think the first thing that we're going to talk about this week is Rogue Company. Yeah, sorry, I was expecting someone to chime in there.
Rogue Company, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
I paused for a chirp, and I didn't get a chirp. Rogue Company is a free-to-play, character-based, third-person shooter by Hi-Rez Games, available on the Epic Game Store if you're playing on PC. It is available on PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, and Windows machines. The game is crossplay, which already is an immediate plus for anyone looking at something to play with friends, especially if you have friends on multiple different platforms. That's great. For Windows users, minimum specs are Windows 7 64-bit or newer OS, an Intel Core i5 2320 CPU, an NVIDIA GTX 650, 4 gigs of RAM, 20 gigs on your hard drive, and a broadband internet connection is required because it's a multiplayer-only game. Need that broadband internet connection. Green and I played this yesterday on our streams, and I gotta say, I was not expecting something so intuitive and great.
It was solid. Like, I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did.
Yeah. So there are 3 core game modes, all built around teams of 4 facing off. There's Demolition, otherwise known as Search and Destroy. Pretty self-explanatory for anyone who knows that term, but anyone who doesn't, you have to either eliminate the enemy team or plant a bomb and have it detonate to win. There is Strikeout, where teams have limited respawns and fight to capture an objective or eliminate the enemy team. Extraction, where teams fight for control of moving objects. Apparently my playback isn't working, which is fine. Character-wise, there are currently 16 rogues or heroes or whatever you want to call them in the game, with a wide variety of abilities. So a few examples of characters here. Anvil is a tank with big guns and he can place a big old fucking shield. There's Dallas, who can reveal enemies closest to the team. There's Ronan, who I played mostly last night, who is best suited to flanking or forcing trade kills with enemy teams. And then there's Scorch, who tosses like a firebomb or a Molotov, and does area denial. Those are just a few examples. So every character is kind of suited to different play styles. You can find like the one that you like the best. A lot like, you guys ready? You guys ready for to take a shot?
Always ready.
Ready to take a shot? Yeah, it's a game with enough characters that everyone can feel like they can find their own play style, a lot like Dirty Bomb. There we go. Take your shot.
Mark it on the bingo.
Mark it on the bingo card.
Let me get the bingo calendar. Hold on. Let me. I'll pull the link out. I'll put it in the chat.
Yes.
Real quick, I'm pretty sure during the Hi-Rez Expo, they announced that they're coming out with 8 new rogues
Yeah.
during during the official like season 1 thing that's coming out.
It's pretty dope how many they have so far. Like they're not lacking by any means. Sorry, I'm also trying to get the playback back at the moment. Green, let's
Yeah.
I'll let you take over real quick on just like characters and feel and stuff like that.
Well, it's a third person shooter. I mean, they're more like class abilities and stuff like that. Very reminiscent of I guess Valorant is kind of like that. It's just first person instead of third person. You have to purchase items each round, so you don't start with everything. At least from what I could tell, it's very team based tactics. So you want to make sure that you're communicating with your team as much as possible. I did like that there was several options, and like you can progress and buy weapons throughout. And like each character has their own separate style of play that also works with like the team aspect of playing. I was a huge fan of Demo. Demo is a breacher class. He has like this little grenade launcher that breaks off into a couple extra grenades. That's really all I can think about like right now. The game is extremely optimized. I'm sure you could play it on a pretty low spec PC. I was getting phenomenal frames and stuff like that, and it starting out like the tutorial was really easy. It was really easy to get into the mechanics of the game. Nothing was overly complicated. I honestly I felt like a god playing the game, which was weird. Like playing multiplayer against other players, and like I didn't feel like I was like a lot of games when you first come in, they're very unforgiving to new players. This one did not have that feeling.
Yeah.
So.
There was never a point in time when I played this game that I felt like I was lost. And to your point about the optimization, my PC ran it fantastically, especially while streaming. No stuttering, no frame skips or anything like that. I don't know exactly how many, how stable my frames were. I didn't have my frame counter up on Epic, so I couldn't be for sure about how my frames were performing at any given point in time. But one thing I wanted to add when it comes to characters is that each character gets a selection of guns and gadgets and perks that are particular to them. And then, as Green mentioned, there's also a buy phase at the beginning of every match that you can actually see on the screen right now, where you can choose a primary, choose between one of two primaries. There we go. You can also choose gadgets and add perks and improve your weapons or whatever else at the beginning of every round. Like I said, game runs and feels great, fantastic. Sound design is really good too. Everything sounds pretty phenomenal. The directional audio is pretty well done as well. Like I can actually tell where people are on the map and stuff like that, especially if it's really quiet. As a note for audio, as much as I love Run the Jewels, having the beat for Thursday in the Danger Room kind of stinks for streamers because I'm pretty sure that would get us a DMCA strike. Thanks, Hi-Rez.
You had your music on?
No, I turned it off.
I just turn the music off every game now. Like there's no point. I constantly play that and why that big old door music anyways. So
pretty cool.
Plug, get a friendly plug.
No, I mean, I kept it off, but it was one of those first things I noticed when I loaded the game up for the first time to get things prepped for stream. Was the beat was from RTJ3's or our Run the Jewels' third album, the song Danger Thursday in the Danger Room, which is a fantastic beat. Again, I love Run the Jewels, but I just don't want to get a DMCA strike when I first load into a fucking game. So art-wise, everything is consistent. Everything aesthetically is really pleasing. The character designs are fantastic in my opinion. All the characters are edgy and unique, and some of them are a little too fine. Okay, like there's no right.
This is true.
Like there's no reason that these characters have to be as fine as they fucking are.
I'm calling the police.
Call
the
it-
FBI. It's not right.
Cheeked up.
Yeah. So my overall impressions, if anyone skipped to this point in the episode, overall impression and recommendation is that this is a game that you should at least give an afternoon. It's something that you should try to see if it's your cup of tea. It's very intuitive. It's quick. You'll learn it within like 2 to 3 games. It's also a fantastic one to keep in your back pocket if you have friends who are on different platforms than you. Right, if you're on PC and you want to find that new cross-platform game to try Xbox One, you guys are tired of Fortnite, this is that game that can replace that. So definitely, it gets my recommendation. Check it out.
It's also free.
It's
so-
free, yeah, exactly. The only thing that you're in when you download it is the time and the bandwidth it took to download.
Oh yeah. I love this game. Honestly, if it was like $25, I'd still pay for it. $40, I'd probably still pay for it.
Mm.
I really enjoyed this game. I was extremely impressed for a free to play game. This is very well put together.
But
It's
would
going
you
in
have
by
paid
regular release.
$40 for it had you not got to try it out first?
I don't know.
Mm.
That's the
Or would
tough
your
thing.
skepticism kept you from purchasing it?
Exactly. My skepticism was the bane of this whole game, because I was thinking it was gonna be like CS:GO, Valorant style game, and I tried CS:GO. I'm not a huge fan of CS:GO. I have yet to try Valorant because to me it looks like CS:GO. So yeah, I'm definitely pushing back on it. And this has made me realize I probably should keep it a little bit more open minded, because this was a solid game.
I think the biggest thing that kept me from ever trying it out was the whole third person aspect of it, because I'm not a big fan of third person games, but
Same.
the game does phenomenal. It plays phenomenal with the third person aspect in there. So, if you don't like third person games, I still give it a shot, because I'm a big Call of Duty person, first person life, but it's a solid third person shooter.
Yeah, first, I prefer first person point of view, especially for shooters. I can do it with like RPGs and other style games like that. Shooters I kind of struggle with, especially because a lot of times with third person shooters, it requires you to get really good at swapping your angle. So this game has a button that changes the which shoulder it's looking over the camera. So that's something I always struggle with, because I as a right-handed person, I always want to have it defaulted to the right, looking over the right hand shoulder, but sometimes you have to change that angle, and some of the other angling stuff in third person games kind of throw me off. One thing I noticed, my gameplay wise, that I was struggling with in this game as opposed to something like a first person shooter, is my wanting to stay ADS all the time, because that ADS feels the field of view while aiming down sights is more comfortable to me than not. So that was something I was getting my ass handed to me for. A guy would charge me, I would still be ADS'd, and he would just be able to outrun and outgun me. But again, Game is fantastic. Check it out. Worth a peek. Is there anything else that we wanted to talk about for Rogue Company?
I don't think so. I think that's all I got.
Gotcha. Rev, any thoughts, questions, opinions?
No, I haven't even touched the game, so I don't really have much of an opinion on it.
Gotcha. Big. Anything else you want to mention?
I'm good. And I think we've nailed it.
All
Yep.
right. Let's go on into Rev's review of Broken Age.
Hey, that's an indie game. It's an old one though. It was made in like 2014, I think.
Yeah.
It was made by Tim Schafer, who like at first. Okay, so I'm not going to spoil any plot points, but I'm going to say this. At first, I was thinking, man, this game is kind of childish in some ways. Then it was like, oh wow, there's a little bit of Lovecraftian elements to it, but it's still kind of childish. And then this one huge complex storyline element comes into play, and there's this huge revelation moment of, oh my god, like there's a clip of it on my Twitch channel where you could see like the moment that it happens. It's like, oh my god, no. And it's not long after the spot that you're actually showing on the screen right now, but it's a point and click adventure, nothing super difficult. It's got just a bunch of choice elements, a few little puzzles here and there. It's mostly about the narrative, and my god, it's good. It's got an amazing storyline. It's got a huge cast. I mean, we're talking, it's got like Jack Black, Elijah Wood, Pendleton Ward from Adventure Time's even in it. uh Will Wheaton is in it. It's fantastic voice acting cast. The animation is super good. It's a beautiful game. There's not like a whole lot to really discuss about it because it is kind of a point and click adventure, and point and click adventures don't necessarily need a whole lot to run smoothly. Um, but yes, it's typically $14.99, I think, and even for as old as it is, I believe that price is well worth it just because of how absolutely fantastic this game has been so far. I'm not even done with it yet, and it is amazing. I can't wait to finish it. I've already started editing YouTube content for it because I'm ready to get this out there because this game needs more people playing it if they haven't already.
Yeah. Do you want some
Can
Steam
play it.
DB information here?
If it, I'm hold on, let me guess. Potato.
No, I'm talking price. But I mean,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, go for it.
I mean, if we want the specs, the minimum specs, Windows XP Service 3 pack, 1.7 gigahertz dual core, 2 gigs of RAM, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 260, an ATI Radeon 4870 HD, or equivalent card, DirectX 9, and you need 2,500 megabytes of available space. And you need a DirectX compatible sound card.
See, the fact that this isn't on mobile is ridiculous. This is an easy mobile point and click.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it should be. I mean, you can. This is how old it is. It was on the PlayStation Vita. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. So
but if you look at it though, if you look at like just the Steam ratings alone, it's like several thousand reviews of overwhelmingly positive or very positive, and I 100% agree with that.
yeah, SteamDB has a 81% favorability rating on it. With the lowest recorded price being 85% off, $2.24 is what it was listed at. That was the lowest recorded price was June 25th, 2019. It seems like it regularly goes on sale as well. So
Yeah,
this
that's
is
the
when you
best
can
thing
pick up
about
for even
older
cheaper.
games is they will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I say the $14.99 is well worth it if you really want to get into the game. But my God, I mean, yeah, if you just want to pick it up at some point, wait till it's on sale because it's gonna be just because it's an older game. But it's so crazy, like the nostalgia factor of it kind of reminds you of those like old HBO storybook series that they used to have like back in the day, the little fairy tale ones, like the animation style reminds me so much of that. It's like playing through it, it was such a, I don't know, I felt like a kid again. It had such like a kind of a kiddish deal. And at first I was like, come on, because like the dude has like a little like toddler-esque steering wheel for a spaceship and stuff. But then everything kind of goes sideways. And you're like, oh, okay. Wow. I like the revelation moment. I haven't had something like that in a video game in forever. It feels like it's just where you hit that like shocking point in it where you're like, oh shit.
So, what's the story hook for this game? Like, what is the premise? How does it start out?
Okay, so you get to play as two different characters. You play as Shay, who's voiced by Elijah Wood. And then you play as I believe her name is Vela. I don't really know that of the voice actress who played her, but Shay, he lives on this like spaceship where everything's really childish. There's like knit toys and all kinds of interesting stuff. When I say interesting, I meant to do quotations there. All kinds of stuff in it that like he's very sheltered. You could tell in this spaceship, and this being essentially makes him want to try to break free of the spaceship because he feels like he's being controlled, et cetera, et cetera. But then you can actually flip at any point, play as Vela, who is a teenager in this village that sacrifices teenage girls to this like eldritch god named Mog Chothra every 14 years. Um, and she doesn't want to, so she's going to fight Mog Chothra and try to kill him to save her village and all this stuff from destruction in the future and the sacrifices and all that. But then you do come to find out that the two are connected, even though at first they do not seem like it. And whenever you start digging deeper into why they're connected, that's when the real amazing, like, what is it, epiphany kind of happens. Is really, really intriguing. Yeah, it's like, whoa. Like, you remember those Keanu Reeves memes from Bill and Ted when he's like, it was that moment, like the shock and awe of it all.
Yeah. And you said it's point and click, so it's just mouse,
Yeah.
and so this would probably be a really good one for anyone with like a trackpad, maybe on a laptop too.
Oh yeah, easy.
Gotcha. I mean, you're listing off a bunch of top tier actors and voice actors here. I'm
Mhm.
assuming, right? Is it safe to assume? But you know what they say when you assume voice acting is very well done, superb.
Oh
One
yeah,
might say.
it's super well done. And it's funny because it's like you can really tell who's playing who because like they're not like done like in accents. It's in everybody's like natural voices, so nothing seems forced. Yeah, it's done really, really well. Um, let's see, I was looking at through the other day at some of the other people that were in it. The girl that plays Vela's name is Masasa Moyo. I don't know much about her, but like Jennifer Hale plays the mom, and like I said, Pendleton Ward and David Kaufman are all in it. Super good.
Dope, dope. Um, how far are you into the game right now?
Okay, so the game has 2 acts, and I'm a couple of hours into Act 2. And Act 1 only took me about maybe 6 hours to get through of actual playtime and not being distracted. So I would assume the game's probably got close to 12 hours. I think I looked it up on how the timetobeat.com, and its average is around anywhere from 10 to 12.
Gotcha. So definitely one for like a good weekend binge.
Oh yeah, yeah, or it's just something that just like a spare time type thing. Like
Mhm.
if you're sitting there just like trying to figure out a game that you want to just sit back and relax and just kind of play through, and because you can save and exit at any point. There are no like save points. It does auto save for you, but you can just hit save and exit at any point and it'll pick up where you left off. So it's super, super accessible, I guess you would say, for people to be able to actually enjoy at their own pace.
Gotcha. I have one more question. I'll open it up to the other guys here.
Mhm,
Um, being a point and clicks
mhm.
are notorious for having moon logic. Do you think this actually makes sense in this game?
Yeah. It does. It actually makes perfect sense. And that's what I'm saying. Like whenever like at first it doesn't at first it seems like two completely separate storylines that have like nothing to do with each other. But then everything makes sense. There's nothing that's like any kind of like that retcon type of, oh well, it may have seemed this way, but it was actually no, it's just like these things that like tie all of it together. And so far that's what it's been. It's been like immaculate writing. I think
Yeah.
Tim Schafer kind of played a big role in that.
Hmm.
Um, because I mean, he both directed and wrote it. Yeah, and he did Brutal Legend too, which I mean, I'm a big fan of it. He did Day of the Tentacle and Grim Fandango and all those that are like actually like really well known for their genre. Like ones you'll
Mhm.
see go on sale a lot because they're older games. But yeah, it's not, there's none of that like Moon Logic type. No, it's pretty straightforward, pretty good stuff
Yeah. There's
so
nothing.
far.
Yeah, there's nothing like, oh, I have to get the key to unlock the box to get the squeaky toy for the octopus to open the main door so I can continue. Like, there's nothing like that.
No, it's more like you'll be sent on like a mission to collect something, but once you collect it, you take it back to where it goes, and that's it. You know, it's like you're done. You have point A, point B. Now, I will say there was one part so far that got a little not mundane, but tedious. And it was I had to go collect a crap load of different things to bring back to build the one big thing. You know, those ones where you have to do like a whole bunch of little tasks to get the big task to go back. But it's not like step by step, like I have to do this to get this part, to get this part, to get this part, to get this part. It's just like I got to get this, and create this. And there was one point in the game that was like that. Everything else has been more discussing things with people, and like you do get to like tinker around and try to test like how different items interact with different people or different things in the environment to try to discover how to basically properly use things. And that's where the puzzle aspect comes in. But it's not like difficult. It's not like a difficult puzzling game. It's pretty family friendly too. Like there's even though this gigantic Lovecraftian nightmare is eating people, you don't see any blood. So it's like, all right, cool.
Gotcha. Green. Thoughts, questions, opinions you want to get out there?
Really, not really. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Point and as point and clicks are. I actually kind of want to. I kind of want to try it out because like I want to know what this big twist is. I haven't seen the clip, and
I can't wait to put
I've
it on
watched
YouTube.
Yeah, I've
can't
watched a
wait.
few people play this game, but I've never gotten to like a twist, and like I haven't watched much of it. So
Yeah, it's like I mean, I'd say maybe 10-15 minutes after the stories converge and you realize that like, okay, yeah, I mean they're not completely just two random stories, which you assumed the whole way, because why would they do that? But after they converge, there's this like huge revelation. You're like, oh shit. Is I would show you the face I made during the clip, because it was just literally just like pure shock. I was I think the last time I had gotten that level of a surprise was during Life is Strange, when he found out the teacher was involved in like the whole thing. I won't go too far into that because
spoilers.
yeah, I was like, I won't go too far into all that, but yeah, I think that was the last time I got shocked anywhere near that much.
Awesome. Big. Any thoughts, questions, opinions you want to get out there on this game?
Not any in particular. I haven't played the game, but I have heard about it before. I'm just not a big point and click type of game person. But as said, I might be surprised. Kind of like with the whole Rogue Company situation. It might be one of those games that kind of gets overlooked, but it's just a game changer when it comes to it. So,
But get it? Game, a
Ba-dum.
game changer, Danny. A game changer.
I don't get it. I don't. I want to just. I feel like that guy in that one. It's a British comedy sketch where it's just like, what's heavier, a pound of feathers or a hammer, or a pound of iron,
Pound
or
of
whatever,
bricks.
pound of bricks, or whatever. That's right, a pound of bricks. Feel like that guy. I don't get it.
Or Linda on Bob's Burgers, when
Thirst.
Tina dressed up as a nun with a briefcase and her Halloween costume was none of your business, and she never got it. She's like, yeah, I get it. She's a rude nun. I don't know why she's rude, but she's rude. It's like, no, Lynn, it's a pun. She's a nun with a briefcase. Yeah, she's working all the time. I guess that's why she's so rude about saying none of your business.
That TV show is just so underrated.
Oh, dude, it's my favorite adult-ish comedy show on TV.
I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna probably cut to break real quick. But girls, Tinder, like, on Tinder, The Office is not a personality, okay? You don't need to quote The Office all the time. If you want to prove that you have a personality, at least quote Bob's Burgers, all right?
Exactly.
I'll
Because then we
say it.
know. Then we at least know you like food.
I'll say it. The Office isn't even that good.
Oh,
I've never been able to make it past the first 3 episodes. I've tried on 4
Exactly.
separate occasions.
Same. Like
I
I
only
see
watch the
clips that are
highlight
funny.
reels.
Yeah, I see clips that are funny, but other than that, it's like I can't sit and watch the whole thing.
It is like 6 clips out of like how many seasons that usually circulate over and over and over again.
It's like 10, I think, or something like that. A lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
It's not that good. I'll say it. How I Met Your Mother's better.
Ooh,
Wow.
yeah. I
There's
don't like How I Met
some
Your Mother either.
there is some real hot takes going on right here.
Said it.
I'm just
I-
very
I-
I'm just
I think most commercial episodic sitcoms in the last like decade have not been good. I don't think there have been very many that have been very good.
no. A
I don't
lot
think
of
there's been
yes.
like a really good one since like Frasier. I'll say it. Frasier was fucking hilarious.
There hasn't been a lot of great like network
Animation is the
sitcoms.
future.
Yeah. Animation keeps kicking ass.
Did you just mute yourself to yell into the mic?
I said, was it though? Was Frasier funny?
Oh, it was fucking
Was
hilarious.
it?
I went back and watched it again. It was hysterical.
So I started watching Frasier right when I started like my radio career, and one of my worst fears was expressed through that show, and that was when Frasier like said something about he was complaining about living in Seattle and like how it was always rainy and cold all the damn time, whatever, and it got over the air, and that has been a fear that I've always fucking had. So
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
shit talk your fan base's city essentially.
Or like, well, I mean, I already shit talk my fans, anyways. I don't know why you guys like me. No, it's just gonna be like, yeah, I fucking hate this town. I hate the fucking listeners that call in.
Is there a single intellectual person in all of fucking Iowa? And then Green calls the station. It's like, hey, Booker.
Hey, fucker.
Hey, Booker, what you got to say, Holmes?
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay right there, and we'll be back.
Are you a coffee lover? Do you need a little pep in your step in the morning? What about knowing where your coffee comes from? Is that important? Well, try Grampian Roast Coffee on Etsy. That's Grampian, Grampian, and see our selection of single origin and blended coffees. Use code REVSVEN, REVSVEN, at checkout to save 15% off of your purchase. Back.
All right, we're back.
Did I get that off before you went back live?
I'm
I
not
hope so.
100% sure. You'll have to listen back to it later.
Oh, because I hope I got that in there in time.
All right, so we are time for some news. So I know anyone who's watching or listening, real quick, probably wants us to talk about CES. We're gonna do a CES roundup next week. It'll be just like a big old fucking CES roundup with like Green's Tech Corner. We're gonna talk about all the shit that Nvidia talked about and talk about some of the dumbest shit that was at CES, some of the coolest shit. That's all gonna be next week. Today we're gonna talk a little bit about GeForce and Google Stadia coming to LG TVs, getting native support. So, unsurprisingly, game streaming services are starting to come to smart TVs natively. Yay. Awesome. Dope. And this year, we'll be bringing Google Stadia and NVIDIA GeForce Now to LG TVs. Google stated that it expects Stadia to be available in the second half of the year. So probably quarter three, probably early quarter three. After the 2021 lineups of OLED, QNED, and NanoCell TVs start shipping. So mark your calendars for that. Currently, the best way to play Stadia on TVs was through the Chromecast or any device with Google TV. And best is in quotations there because apparently it like overheated Chromecasts.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was fun when Chromecast Ultras were getting hot to the touch. Right now, GeForce is currently available on NVIDIA, Windows, macOS, Chrome OS, Android, and Safari for iOS devices. And the Safari version right now is currently in beta. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna kind of go around the horn here and just see if you guys have any takes that you want to mention. We're gonna start with ABigOleDoor. Any takes that you want to put on this particular story?
I think it's personally awesome that, we've come to a point where we can put a gaming service on a TV, It's kind of crazy to think that in, I don't know, a span of 10 years, we went from 1080p being, we got to have 1080p to 4K and don't even need a console anymore. So I think, it's pretty solid.
Yeah. Rev.
I'm just glad that they're bringing GeForce Now to counterbalance the idea that they're bringing that dumpster fire Google Stadia to their
Oh my
TVs.
shit.
We hey, like-minded on this front. We are.
So much shit.
I'm still I am kind of curious to see if Amazon Luna ends up making it on these TVs though. Because it's still on the pipes. Actually, one of my good buddies, Buns of Bread, got an email invite to test out Amazon Luna, so I'll keep in touch with him and see how it goes. But yeah, now I'm with Door on this. It's really cool to see that you're able to do this stuff on TVs. Now, the question being obviously how optimized. I mean, hell, GeForce runs better than Stadia on on its own. Let's just hope at least Stadia can run the dumpster fire that it is on these TVs because I mean, are they going to have the software and hardware necessary to run these things properly? Are they at least going to have an Ethernet port on them to be able to actually have a stable internet connection to do this stuff? All that remains to be seen. So optimistically, that's awesome. I think it's a great starter for people who can afford these gigantic, ridiculously amazing TVs, unlike somebody who's rocking a 32-inch 720 like me. But yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's a really cool. If nothing else, it's a step. It's another step in a direction to an unknown destination of wonder and magic. I don't know. I did DMT yesterday, so I don't know. I'm thinking I didn't, but I wish I did.
Greenlee, your take.
I'm gonna have to wholeheartedly agree with Rev. Like, it's kind of. I'm not thrilled about Stadia moving to another platform that they're gonna shit on, but I mean, GeForce Now is cool. I mean, it is a rental service. You don't have, you're renting a PC, so it's not as much intake. Stadia is just Stadia. It's trash. But I'm happy for GeForce. If you haven't tried GeForce Now for like a trip or traveling or anything like that, like on your phone or laptop or something that can't, run a PC game normally, it's definitely something worth trying.
100% agree. Absolutely.
It's not
So
the same. It's not the same as a console or PC,
No.
but it's better than Stadia. You log into your current Steam account and you play it through GeForce Now.
okay, so here's my take. It's a good move for both services. Excellent job. It's a good move for LG. I think it's a good move in particular for Stadia. And here's basically, for me, making it more accessible can't hurt its chances of longevity, because we've talked about it before where there is a serious longevity concern with Stadia, right? Because Google has a graveyard of failed services or discontinued services, it immediately makes people unsure if they want to pay into it, right? So there are certain games that, I mean, if you want to play certain games, I mean, you're gonna have to pay into it. And then if the free games on there you want to play, you have to pay for like the Stadia Pro or whatever, right? So there's a investment cost that anyone that's interested in doing some sort of game streaming service like Stadia has to incur. And lowering that investment cost, right? So now for the TV, if you buy an LG TV, or if that was already something you were going to buy, this is just a plus to buying that LG TV. Now you don't have to get a Chromecast to play Stadia, right? So they kind of make that a nicer, better package. It's also a good sign in terms of longevity because it's showing us that Google is making attempts to improve the service, which means that they aren't giving up on it yet. Emphasis on yet. They can always give up on it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do because, again, the Google graveyard. That's,
The Chrome cemetery, if you will.
the Chrome.
That fits very well, and I will now be referring to it as the Chrome Cemetery.
The Chrome cemetery. Yeah. So again, I think good. I want to see Roku support come because I own a Roku. I would like to be able to access, especially GeForce Now. I'd love to be able to do GeForce Now on my Roku. Are you trying to tell me to hydrate? Is that what's going on here?
No, I'm hydrating for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did see the alert. Someone spent channel points here, and I've been sitting here with a glass of water, but I've also been talking.
That's why I'm doing it for you.
Ah,
You don't have to. I got you. Homie.
He's hydrating by proxy.
By proxy.
that's how that works. So yeah, good things, good moves. Anything else on this particular topic? Okay. I'm just going to go off on this quick tangent. Other companies, please support Roku, okay? I'm tired of trying to figure out how I can watch Twitch on my fucking TV.
I will say it's hard for Twitch because with Amazon owning
I
Twitch
know.
and the Fire Stick being competition. But I will say this: Roku does have the HBO Max app now, and I'm excited because that might be the best show streaming service by sheer content alone out there. Like Netflix has a lot, but
Mhm.
how much of Netflix's stuff is trash? Like it's stuff you'll never watch. Like HBO Max has like a bunch of like the cool Cartoon Network stuff, like Adventure Time, regular show stuff like that. It's got all the Studio Ghibli films available, and then plus anything HBO ever show wise, plus any of their movies that are currently in rotation on any of their channels.
Yeah.
Super solid for like $15 a month.
Danny, I can fix your Roku by
Mhm.
giving you a Google Chromecast.
Like,
That's the one thing that they did do right. Like, I love my Chromecast
mhm.
because as long as it's available on the phone, I just hit the cast button and there's nothing there's nothing I've found that doesn't allow it.
Yeah.
You like the Pornhubs on the 70-inch TV? You can have the Pornhubs on the 70-inch TV.
Dude,
I
bro,
wanna
you can see the
see-
razor bumps.
I was gonna say, yeah, I want to be able to see those razor bumps. Which again, I'm just on a fucking Okay, so I'm getting some questions here. Can't you plug your PC into your TV? Watch it that. So my TV is pretty far away from my PC. My main issue really is just I'd have to run an HDMI cable all the way there, and the TV is just one of those. It's got Roku built into it. It's a TCL 32-inch Roku Smart TV, so it was already built in. So yeah, it was just one of those things that my space is not quite optimized for it. Anyways, that was my tangent there. And I apologize for my tangent. Next big story that this is going to be one that would probably affect people's wallets maybe in the future. And this is mostly interesting analysis from the Federal Trade Commission's commissioner. I'm going to apologize. I believe it's Rohit Chopra. He made some comments regarding the mobile app and gaming market. These stem from a case that the FTC has now settled against the mobile advertising company Tapjoy, which allowed mobile developers to integrate ads into their games. And that issue is important enough for me to do a quick tangent. Just explaining what that is. So basically what happened was that the FTC found that Tapjoy were basically not holding out advertisers accountable by allowing them to engage with players, having players spend money or share data without the advertisers delivering the goods promised in the ad. Right? So you play like one of those mobile games and it's like, watch a free ad for 5 gems. And like you watch the ad. Tapjoy is the company that helps build that integration for the mobile developer. And Tapjoy wasn't making sure that people, like if you watch that ad, that you for sure got those 5 gems. There were a lot of advertisers who were basically running fraudulent campaigns. And Tapjoy is responsible for making sure that doesn't happen, and they weren't doing that. And just a little bit on that there. Chopra said this, quote, Tapjoy did little to clean up the mess even when hundreds of thousands of gamers filed complaints. This also harmed developers of the mobile games who were cheated advertising revenues they were entitled to. So normally that would be a big story in its own, and I think it is worth talking about. We can talk about that a little bit here after get through some of this other stuff. But Chopra's comments or Chopra, I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Made some other comments regarding the case and just kind of some general statements about the industry. Specifically about Google and Apple's role in the industry right now. Quote, by controlling the dominant app stores, these firms enjoy vast power to impose taxes and regulations on mobile gaming industry. We should all be concerned that gatekeepers can harm developers and squelch innovation. And I now just had a flashback to August. Sounds a lot like what Congress said. Chopra also pointed specifically to the, quote, rent extraction seen in Apple and Google's 30% commission fee on all purchases made on the platforms, and their banning power for devs who violate that rule. Epic? I feel like I hear an Epic Games somewhere.
Echoes of podcasts past.
Echoes of podcasts past. He stated that this forces developers to include addictive, invasive, and otherwise harmful business models into their products. Quote, developers and small businesses risk severe retaliation for speaking up, including outright suspension from the app stores, and which is an effective death sentence, end quote. Chopra ended his statements with no prescriptions. Surprisingly, he made no prescriptions for the situation, and for the market to take. And also made no announcements of actions that the FTC will be taking, but rather just said that the FTC will be taking a deeper look at the practices in the industry, especially the roles that Google and Apple play.
Chopra's a Fortnite player. That's why he's siding with Epic.
Ooh, scandalous. quote, when it comes to addressing the deeper structural problem in the marketplace that threaten both gamers and developers, the commission will need to use all of its tools, competition, consumer protection, and data protection to combat middlemen mischief, including by the largest gaming gatekeepers. So yeah, that's the end quote there. I feel like we should break it down. We could probably start with the Tapjoy thing and go to Green there. What do you feel about the Tapjoy case?
I don't know. Like, I feel like I mean, if they're saying that they're not holding advertisers accountable, that like there has to be some basis in it. I mean, it's the FTC. I mean, it is the government, but then I also don't like the government. So, but I get the point though. Like the ads have been constantly shit. Where like a lot of the ads I've noticed have like tried to trick you into like clicking the ad with like little X's that are barely possible to click, and then everything around it is like a pressure, like to actually click the ad link, and so like something needs to be done. I feel like the FTC would be the department to do it. Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck ads.
Well, I mean, as someone who makes their living on advertising almost exclusively,
I'm sorry. I don't like advertisements. I don't like advertisements in games.
I'm not going to say fuck advertising. I'm going to instead say maybe don't run fraudulent campaigns, advertisers.
I'm not talking about like regular advertisements. Oh,
I'm not talking about the advertisements that affect you, Danny. God.
I'm not talking about the TV advertisements, the radio advertisements. Oh, I just want to play my Candy Crush.
I don't hate radio ads because I understand that there's no subscription service to public free radio. So it's like, well, they do have to pay the bills somehow. But TV, it's like, fuck, I pay for you. Don't show me an advertisement.
It's the same with like Netflix and Hulu. Like,
Mhm.
like Hulu, like I'm paying a thing for Hulu. I don't want to pay the extra for Hulu.
Right.
Like I
Yeah,
get
that's
it's
me.
part of like the TV contract. Like there has to be commercials unless you pay a certain amount.
I will say this
get that.
though, that there are no ads in like a bunch of their movies. I've noticed. Like if you do watch a movie on Hulu, there's no advertisements. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, man, fuck ads and TV.
So, Rev, since you're talking, the Tapjoy thing, how do you feel about that case?
Somebody needs to really actually put the hammer down and hold them accountable if they're not paying out the currencies that they're supposed to be paying out from from the advertisements being ran,
which they
because
did.
that's their,
They got hammered pretty hard by the FTC.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it
As
needs
they
to
should have.
that's how that needs to happen. Is they need to be held accountable for it because that's bull crap, especially since that's literally their one service. And that's actually we were having the conversation about the FTC beforehand because that was like the whole point of contacting them, like to file an FTC complaint, is that you are not receiving these services that you are paying for as advertised. And so yeah, I mean if they're not going to take it seriously enough, but on the flip side, is there any competition to Tapjoy? Are they able to get away with doing stuff like this until they get caught because there's no competition? There's not another company out there that these advertisers can go through, and filter their stuff through. I think there needs to be competition because once the competition arises, then quality has to go up on one side or the other, or else they lose.
Yeah. So real quick, Tapjoy, I feel like I might need to like mention this again. They're a middleman service, right? So you develop a game and then you go to Tapjoy to integrate their ad serving service into your app. So it's also a way for developers to get money. And so if an ad is served to a user, but the developer doesn't get that money, it also harms the developer, which is a massive problem too. I just feel like that also needs to be pointed out because we are a customer and consumer centric show. But it also isn't just about the consumer and the customer. It is also about developers.
Right.
I just wanted to point that out
make
too.
money to make games. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in a basis in this like particular basis, the developers are technically the consumers because they're the ones that are consuming the service to have these these ads ran through. And yeah, the fact that literally because they weren't doing their job and what they were contracted to do properly. All sides were harmed in some way or another monetarily, and that's complete bullshit. And that needs, there needs to be some competition, because I don't think there's another one out there other than Tapjoy that really does this stuff. If you're going to run ads in games, I'm with Green. Fuck ads in games. But if it's going to happen, there needs to be some kind of quality check by having some kind of competition there, where it's like, well, shit, we have to do a better job, because if we don't, they're going to go over to this guy.
Yeah. BigOleDoor. Thoughts, opinions on the Tapjoy case specifically?
I am with the other two. Ads in games, atrocious. Especially when they're advertised as free and you go to play them, and you're spammed with advertisements every 5 seconds. And them not, saying what they're gonna do, hey, do this, we'll pay you, or in that sense. You know, kind of hits a home a little close. But it just shouldn't happen. As someone who advertises, here's what you do for me, I'll give you back something. And they don't do that. Just kind of something needs to be done about it. So, and which it was, as you said. So good.
Yeah.
Get them.
Get them. Yeah. I mean, you guys didn't say anything that I wouldn't have already said. Which I think kind of leads us to the next part of the conversation there, which was his overarching comments about the industry in the marketplace as a whole. Do you guys need me to pull any of those quotes again? I'll start with you, Rev. I'll let you say your piece. If there's anything that you need me to pull a quote again, let me know.
Oh no, you don't need to pull anything, because I mean, like you said, it echoes the congressional hearing almost to a T. And part of me thinks that, like, maybe that those statements were almost made as almost like a reinforcement, because they, to some capacity, work together on these things. And so to kind of, for a show of solidarity, it feels like maybe that he was just kind of echoing their sentiments about these things. And again, only reason that he was bringing up the whole deleting apps and stuff is because he's a Fortnite fanboy. He's XX banged your mom 420XX on Fortnite, if you didn't know.
MILF Slayer 69.
He was the best player on iOS too.
Oh yeah, he's pissed, dude.
Yeah, he can't cut it on Sony, dude, or on the PlayStation. He's just
Exactly.
on iOS. Was killing it on iOS.
Well, the thing was, like, for those of you who don't know, Mr. Chopra was he's the full disclaimer, none of this is true. He's the third cousin of shamanistic spiritual man Deepak Chopra, and he was the number 3 mobile Fortnite player in the world. Number 1 on iOS, but number 3 in the world on mobile. And when they pulled him from the App Store and it removed him from the top 3, he had to go out and buy a Samsung. And as an Apple fanboy, he was really pissed about that, because he felt like he was betrayed. 1, because he lost his status in his game, and 2, because he had to switch from Apple over to Samsung in order to continue his rise in Fortnite. And honestly, I can't blame him. I'd be pretty pissed too.
By the way, I love your disclaimer that none of this is true. So Mr. Chopra,
I don't know what you're talking about.
So that Mr. Chopra can't sue us for saying that he's a fucking god on iOS Fortnite. BigOleDoor, on the topic of Apple, Google, and the wider space, any thoughts, opinions, questions you want to express?
I have none at this moment, actually. Yep, I might be a little lost, but hey, it is what it is.
It's all right. Green, your take.
You pretty much said it. It's just like the Apple v Epic hearing shit. So and it's the same. Yeah,
the old antitrust suits or hearings.
Oh, antitrust twist.
When are we going to learn to be? When are we going to learn to trust again? Everything's all about antitrust, and now nobody ever trusts anybody anymore. It's just so
all
pathetic.
About the money. The money.
Fucking Fortnite.
So Here's my takeaway from this string of comments that he made. First off, markets are probably going to change in the next 5 years. These things move fairly slowly. The FTC moves slower than these companies can move and change their course, which means unless the FTC has a very specific set of charges they're going to level and do it soon, we probably won't see anything from the FTC in the near future. What's more likely going to happen, in my opinion, is that Google and Apple are going to change their practices. That, as Rev alluded to, they, are getting looked at very heavily from at least the previous Congress, probably will get looked heavily from this Congress as well. They are getting eyeballed by the FTC, the DOJ, and a bunch of other entities around the country and around the world. I believe there are things going on in the EU as well. So what is more likely going to happen is that they're going to change their practice before anything can actually get levied against them. Hopefully. That's in theory what I think is going to happen. I'm not an expert. I don't have an ear to the door of any of these boardrooms, so I don't fucking know exactly.
Well, I want to go ahead and point something out that actually reinforces kind of what you're saying. You're talking about how this Congress will probably look a little more heavily into it. And I believe that's going to be true because a more liberal Democratic Congress would typically favor some heavier regulations as opposed to more like a more conservative kind of free market-esque, not free market, but free market-ish type of Congress would. So you're probably looking at seeing a lot more heavily regulated stuff coming through. So I believe that this Congress will look a lot more heavily into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's corporatists on both sides of the aisle, and there's just a lot of corporatists.
It's a matter of how many gamers are on both sides of the aisle. That's the question.
Yeah. You know what though? What's going to be terrifying is when those Apple fanboys charge the Capitol. That's going to be terrifying.
Is it even wheelchair accessible for them to get up there in their rascals? Like,
I was thinking, there's just going to be a lot of Starbucks cups getting thrown at cops.
a lot of lattes.
Yeah, they're all gonna be like me with their fucking square glasses, skinny jeans, button down shirts, throwing fucking lattes like riot cops trying to break into the Capitol.
Taste my tofu, asshole.
Yeah,
You don't understand. It's not about the processing power. It's about the convenience. Ugh.
Or even better, you'll just end up hitting them with the it's not a phase, Mom, yelling into the Fox News cameras.
If I spend $1,000 on a phone, does that make me rich? Does that make me likable?
The Apple fanboys are the kinds of fanboys that when they riot, they would actually stop to ask, "Queen, are you Fox News or CNN?" before I talk to you. That would determine their entire outrage. It's like CNN, it's like, "Yeah, down with the government," and then Fox News is like, "Oh, it's not a phase, Mom," because they know their old ass parents are at home watching Fox News.
I'm just imagining, those stickers that you get with every single Apple product. They just put the Apple sticker on their baseball bat for when they break the window to Congress.
No, that's what they try to use as weapons. They try to frisbee fling these little Apple stickers at everybody. The whole Capitol is just stuck with like a multitude and collage of just Apple stickers.
I would say they would have tried to take members of Congress hostage with lightning cables, but we all know that they don't get those anymore in the box.
That's probably why
they
knew the revolution was coming, so they had to take away the weapons.
They'll break in a few hours anyways. They'll just break. So I mean,
they just
shatter. Break into the Capitol. They won't even break into the Capitol, dude. They'll just show up with extra money, saying, "We know we have to pay extra."
You know what would be absolutely hilarious is if they're trying to break down the window, and like, come on, I've broken like 5 phones. Why isn't this glass breaking that easily?
I've cracked the screen 7 times. I went through 7 iPhones, by the way.
Oh, Jesus.
True story. Best Buy's black tie insurance was the shit back then, though.
They're going to end up rallying the Intel fanboys behind them to help them.
No, there's no more Apple Intel fans. Yeah, but all the Apple machines are moving to ARM. So they don't have
For
the
now.
for
Or soon they will be, but
Yeah.
right now they're like, it's gonna be like, it'll be the Lord of the Rings meme. I never thought I would die beside an Intel fanboy. How about beside a friend? I can do that. For $89.99 extra, I can do that.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I say this as an Apple user, so ABigOleDoor doesn't have to feel called out here too specifically.
I do this because it pisses my fiance off, who is a diehard Apple fan. She's like MacBook, iPad, iPhone,
Mhm.
everything Apple. Her
I-
dad's the same way.
When your
Apple
electronics cost
hardcore.
more than your house.
I just like
Exactly.
their phones, but that's about it.
I
don't.
have an iPad. I got that as a Christmas gift years and years ago, which I use mostly now for Dungeons and Dragons and also to like watch YouTube when I'm in bed.
My iPad has one use, and that is for Stream Deck
Yeah.
mobile. I got this iPad because I got my fiance this iPad, and then I bought her a new iPad.
And do keep in mind, this has been established on the show before. If you have missed it, that there is a difference in an iPhone user and an Apple fanboy.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh for
Yes.
sure. Oh for sure.
Yes, for sure. We like to rag on people who have who join the brand the cult brand, or the
They
cult
took
of the brand.
bite.
It's a cult of personality.
I mean, how arrogant do you have to be a gigantic corporation and put the symbol of the bitten forbidden fruit on your own product and hand it to people and say, "Here you go.
Here you go."
Enjoy."
So
Apple's the devil, monster. The claws look like the Hebrew 666 conspiracies.
So I'm gonna finish up my point real quick because we went on a massive tangent, which is great. Hopefully these two companies change their behavior before the FTC has to bring a case. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. Yeah, before the DOJ and the FTC have to waste a bunch of taxpayer money on enforcing antitrust law. Let's have you guys change before that happens. Be fucking great, guys. Come on.
I agree. Fuck Apple.
And don't forget, Google is also a part of this too.
Oh yeah,
And
I'll
as
say
is Facebook and Amazon.
fuck Google.
Fuck Google. Fuck Facebook.
The only reason
the
we keep
Warzone
getting
devs?
on the only reason we keep getting on these tangents is because we have to satisfy Danny's geometry fetish. Dude always gets off on tangents.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Mm.
I just like saying fuck and then insert company.
Insert
name here.
random bad guy name here.
Okay. Well, I mean that's that. I mean, do we have any other takes that we wanted to add to this conversation?
I do have to say another tangent. I'm sorry, Door. We're dropping the F-bomb a lot, and I know you don't like.
Oh no, it doesn't bother me.
You don't like to partake. I'm
Yeah.
trying to
No.
feed you into it, and it's not a good
Wow.
thing.
No, I don't partake, but it doesn't bother me.
All right. I think it's a good time to wrap up the show unless you guys had anything else you wanted to talk about.
No, dude, gaming and gaming news and everything has been so slow lately.
I blame that
dude.
on
Like,
COVID.
yeah, we are. I mean, we covered all the big topics in the last like month with like the Cyberpunk 2077 and the data miner stuff. All the big news has been like over the last month. Is like everything's just dying down right now. We're just gonna have to ride it out and see when interesting ish will happen again.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Hopefully
also
CES
after
is
the
good.
holidays.
Yeah. Everybody
And-
had those deadlines.
Yeah. Well, and Green, like what Green just said, CES.
Yeah.
Which will do our big extravaganza next week.
Which I don't know. Like, doesn't I think it's Gamers Nexus does like the stupidest case every year on CES, and like I don't think that like are they even doing an actual convention this year?
No, it's all virtual and talk shows. It's basically it's just like how like the PC Gamer Show and everything happened last year.
Disappointed.
Yeah. Which kind of stinks that you don't get to see footage of people like
Steve Burke just roaming around like, ooh, what is this?
Right?
Mm.
Or Linus dropping something in a convention room filled with NVIDIA engineers. I'm gonna miss that footage. I'm gonna miss Linus getting to like take apart RTX 5000 and like dropping it in front of somebody. Like
But that look, he always has that look.
Yeah, like a deer in the headlights as this NVIDIA engineer just looks sad that he dropped his baby. All right. Let's go on ahead and
He
wrap
has
up this.
the money to like reimburse them though.
Oh
Let's be
yeah.
honest.
Oh yeah. I would actually love to just like get into Linus's financials. That'd be. I am
Just take a
so
peeky-poo.
curious.
Little Peaksy.
Little peaksy. All right, let's wrap up the show. ABigOleDoor, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
For those who missed the top part of the show, tell the folks out there who you are, what you do, and where people can find you.
I'm ABigOleDoor. I stream on Twitch with the name ABigOleDoor. I also do make music on all music platforms, whatever you want to call it. But my name is Andy, AND-Y caps on Spotify. I do instrumentals and stuff like that, if I can say things right. Yeah. Jazz hands on my way out. Woo.
Guys, catch all that information in the episode description. You guys can find that there. Mr. Green Elite, what's coming up on your channel?
I don't know what to do with my hands. Definitely more Rogue Company. And some Minecraft because I have an addiction that I can't seem to break. I will try my darndest not to play that cursed game this week that I will not mention because they keep fucking shit up. But I mean, I do have. I'm a man of many video game addictions, so I can't guarantee it. But you can catch me on live, twitch.tv/Mr. Green Elite. Find me on all my socials, are all Mr. Green Elite, except for Instagram, which I hardly ever use anyways. So, yeah. Rev?
Padre. You're muted, buddy.
Muted.
You're muted, buddy.
I'm goddamn muted. Hi. Take two. Tomorrow I'm going to continue Broken Age tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night's my multiplayer night. I'm actually gonna be playing some Phasmophobia, co-streaming with a couple of people that I just randomly met through TikTok and through just random raids and stuff. So that ought to be pretty fun. But I should be finishing up Broken Age pretty quick, and I'm gonna be switching over to Jazz Punk, which looks hysterically funny. But aside from that, yeah, it's just gonna be chugging along on my old list over here. And you can find me at twitch.tv/RevSfin, or you can find me on literally any other platform with RevSfin TV. I don't care where it is. You look me up, I'm there.
Dope. Coming up on my channel, more Fallout 4. Probably be playing more Rogue Company because I did thoroughly enjoy that. I think it's gonna get added to a regular rotation. I'll probably play some Minecraft on Green's realm. Probably will be doing that. I have a Pokemon Crystal Clear Nuzlocke that I'm working on right now too. That'll be on YouTube. So make sure you guys follow me on YouTube or subscribe to me on YouTube. You guys can also catch the show there. If you guys miss any part of the show, you guys can find it on that YouTube channel, like I just said. I'm apparently going to repeat myself multiple times. You guys can also find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. If you guys want to find me on the social medias, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DANIEK, DANIECAE. This is my last week filling in for Nerdy Notes with Ned on Rock and Wait, so hear me there as well. Don't forget the question of the week. This week, the question of the week is, what TV show are you most excited for this year? You guys can answer that in the comments of this YouTube video, or you guys can tweet at us as well. Other than that, guys, I don't think there's anything else that we need to talk about, mention, or discuss, right? We're all good?
I think
we're good.
All right, guys.
I'm all good.
Then until next week, Stay safe, stay healthy, keep fighting the good fight. Unless that good fight is storming the U.S. Capitol, you dinguses. That's not what I mean by that. See you guys next week. Bye.
I love you.
Kisses.